Hey, we went live. What's up with that?
And now we're finally live. Hello, all, and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, my co-host with the mostest is Techy Joe, and we're here tonight. You guys will be here in a few minutes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Usually.
usually. We'll see. It's Friday. They might be busy.
Hey, you never know. Wait, no, it's 2020. You're at home. Get online. Watch our show.
Exactly.
You have nowhere to be.
Or you should be here.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So we had a really good Tuesday night show.
We had a very long Tuesday night show. Like I'm thinking if we do that again, I need adult diapers. Like that's just like I will put my name to that. Like depends, get in touch. For our next 3-hour show, I need adult diapers. Like
No,
there was a point in that like
commercial.
I'm just gonna be honest. There was a point in that last like 20 minutes I had made peace with the fact that I was going to wet myself.
Again,
Like I had just
next time, hopefully, we'll be on the same page and you can pre-up me a commercial. And then all I got to do is
right.
flip a button. We can go to commercial break. I can get more coffee.
Well, there's that. There's that. But no, like, yeah, no, I was having a moment there because, like, Tuesday was a little weird anyway. Because that was like the night that I was working on one thing, and like I like with like 8 minutes had to like flip around, get my laptop up, get the camera all functional, get everything going, and then it was like, quick, coffee, lights, we're live. Hi.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. But yeah, no, it was no, I'd made peace with it. Much like when I had like my gallbladder surgery, I made peace with it then too. And I still haven't done it. Like, adulting.
Hi, Mika.
Hi, Mika. Hello, Terry. But yeah, and sorry, I know we didn't get to say like individual hellos last episode. It was kind of, whoo.
Quick.
Yeah, like you hit live and it like instantly clicked over. We thought we were gonna have like a minute like we usually do, where it's like, la la la, waiting to go live. And yeah, it's so like the last episode kicked in, or coffee shop last episode kicked in with like we were still bantering with the guest.
Right.
Like, the last guest one of two. So yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
It was great. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, no, it was a great show. It was just like probably our most awkward opening.
No. So
what's this with your background? And then it was like live.
Well, that's because we have a great background. I'm thinking about switching it for Halloween. We'll see.
Absolutely. Actually, I had a thought. While I was choosing my festive shirt for this evening. Sorry, guys, I'm choking on coffee. Bad inhale moment. But no, I was having this idea while I was picking my very festive shirt for the month of October. And I was thinking, how awesome would it be if I were not allergic to latex? We could paint ourselves entirely green. So it's just like your beard and eyes and glasses and your hair, and we could wear green shirts, and then it's just like this floating coffee mug.
Well, I thought about doing one of the screen share things, and let's do a Mountain Bears episode in Second Life.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Can we go live from the one gaming place that has the guillotine?
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
Like, I think an entire episode in which I'm talking over my avatar going, would be great.
Uh-huh.
But yes. Alrighty. Well, Ashley does have a question if we're
Awesome.
ready for those yet.
Give me a second. I gotta do
Okay.
socialing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh. Well, while you're doing that, I'm actually getting. Oh, cool. Got some updates. Awesome. Sorry, little family drama this week. So yeah, I've been kind of like careful to always check those. You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting just how that was just seeing dynamics go off certain ways.
Well, yeah. And it's also like really different. Like usually stuff happens in your family and it's just like your mom calls you or me.
Right, and we're done.
And then like and like literally that's the only phone call that we get because it's like or everyone else can just die. Like that's your family dynamic. Like
Well, it's because we've got different sets of superiors.
well, there's that.
You know,
But then,
I'm brother superior. We have uncle superior. You know, so in the family dynamics, it's like call the superiors; they'll handle everything else.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, now we used to do that, but unfortunately, we got too big for that.
Uh-huh.
Like literally, like you have 5 kids, and then they start having children, and then you start with the grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
No. This phone call telephone game is not fun. We do group messenger. Like all family problems can be handled in group messenger.
Well, one, my family isn't to the point of group messenger, although Mama Knight is proficient on Facebook. Hi, Mama Knight, if you're watching.
Yeah.
But no, we'll talk about that. You know, the idea of superior responding to crises as superiors, and I think she calls the other ones followers. In a minute, let me grab a deck.
Okay.
Well, I think we'll use the Witch's Tarot because I think I'm going to keep this one too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You've been finding a few of those decks. You're like, nope, mine.
Yeah, there's a few. Although we do have the studio set up soon. And the reason I like these is they're small. Like I can stop getting complaints over over big cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh.
All right. So let's take Ashley's question.
All right. Ashley says my date of birth is 8/26/96. Was Tuesday active for spirits or anything like going on with retrogrades or full moons? My daughter, who passed away almost 6 months ago, very much so made herself seen. And then she has the dates of birth and death there.
Okay. We are getting very close. Tuesday was the 14th. Mercury did go into retrograde. That would be dealing with communication and technology and stuff like that. I actually don't need the deck for this. Wow. But as far as your daughter, yes, she made herself seen. She made herself known. There's also a sufficient date. It's not Christmas in December that you guys can expect her to show up with a bang. Because she ain't missing it.
All right. Well, there we go. And Ashley, I just got to comment on one thing. It is not the size of the deck. It is the motion in the hands.
But again, it is the size of the deck because people always, especially, I have clients of all sizes. A lot of small females and small men have a problem shuffling my big decks. Now, granted, that's not a problem right now because no one's shuffling my cards except me.
Yep, but no one else is playing with your decks.
No one else is playing with my decks.
I'm sorry, this is where my brain is at. Like, you're just going to be there this evening.
You have to read the call-ins.
Okay, so Ashley also says, I'm expecting in December, so that's probably true. And then hello, Brenda, and hello, Kathy.
Yes. Hello, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, we are going to attempt, if everyone continues to behave in Kanawha County, to go down and do the Taste of the Lotus.
Yes.
You're going to be doing photos that day. I'm going to be doing readings that day. We got to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, they're having their Egyptian tea party.
Yes, they're having their Egyptian tea party.
Yes. And these are going to be more like photo booth style photos. Like I think there's like a small backdrop and some props. So it's kind of, it's a fun party. It's not like a full on like Valentine's Day kind of thing.
Okay.
Just to clarify.
I know, but we need to bring your camera equipment home.
Do what now?
We need to bring your camera equipment home. I need studio photos done.
We brought it home.
Not the lights and all that. The big bag.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's down there.
Okay, great. It is October 31st. The Walk Like Egyptian starts at 1 to 4. I will be there from 12:30 till 6.
That's Saturday the 31st. Yeah.
Yep. Saturday the 31st. So yeah, as long as people behave, please wear your mask, please wash your hands, don't come out if you're sick. Aeson gets to go out and do readings in person again. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been one of those deals. Because this will be the first time since what, July?
Yeah, I want to say yes. June?
Yeah, July or June that I've actually gotten to go down to CLS at all.
It had to have been like the end of June. Like the reason you're thinking it's July is because it was the end of June.
Okay.
And that's if it was even that late in this year. I think it was like May.
Possibly.
Because we totally stopped in March, and then we had a couple of months, and then you got to go up for one event, and then...
Yep. And then we were all set to go to another event, and it went from like 2.9, 2.4 to 7.3%.
Well, it was something ridiculous. It was like, well, so much for that.
Like, really, people?
Well, good deal, Ashley. Ashley is out of state, but is going to definitely tell her sister about it.
Good
deal. Good deal.
Yes. But no, and readings will be $20 that day. No contact, meaning you guys aren't shuffling my cards. I don't have to go and sterilize them. But you do get a reading. I am going to be in a mask. I'd really appreciate it if you're in a mask, which I kind of like. Because you got to remember, when I was trained on some things, you saw the client's face, or they said, in this one time that I took some training, the client actually sat with their back towards you.
Okay, so you couldn't get any facial like key in on like, hey, what's going on? Like, are you getting it? Or are you not getting it? Are you there? Or, Like, so you can't, like, just, so to speak, cold read and just, like, guess a few statistical facts.
Right. And I don't cold read to begin with. But, no, that was, it was one of the trainings I went to in Virginia. It was on, clairvoyant reading. So, of course, there's no cards. There's none of that. But they had us behind the audience. Doing readings. It was cool. It was really cool. This is one of those places that also done a lot of mediumship readings, which I'd love to go up and do some at Camp Chesterfield, maybe in 21 or 22. Take a weekend and we can go up to Chesterfield for some training. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be very nifty.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, you've had some family health things going on.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also kind of highlight on there, the whole week before you had family health things going on, your tummy was pissed off, no matter what I cooked you.
It was a bad tummy week. Like, into the weekend was a bad tummy week, and then Monday was a really bad tummy day. Like, I'm just sitting here like, I don't know what the hell my problem is. Like, I kept walking around like I have this really like nervous stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm nervous about. Like, I thought for a brief minute, like, and you know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, you know. But like, I kept thinking it was the appointment. Because I was driving up Monday for a doctor's appointment to find out about my neck, and I'm like, why am I nervous? Like, I don't get this. The only thing he can tell me is like, you know, yes, it's fusing. No, it's not. Which, yes, it is. You know, and if it's not, then the worst thing he can tell me is, I think you need another surgery. And I'm like, well, I think I need another surgeon. Yeah, that's where I was going with that sentence. You know. Sorry to make you choke there.
No joke there.
Oh yeah. Didn't think you were ready for that one. But no, it was like all day I was like nervous tummy. And even after the appointment, nervous tummy. And then while I was driving back, the messages started like coming in. And I was like, like, well, like maybe. Considering that some of the issues were, you know, at least like food related, in like a GI kind of way.
Well, not only that, but this happens to you often, and you've just not noticed it. Point blank, you haven't noticed it. I've noticed it. I've got it journaled, but it's like, one of these days he'll figure out he's an empath and he'll wear his hematite ring that I got to go with his other ring, you know, and maybe he'll stop breaking his chakra bracelet, which, by the way, we've decided we're going to solder.
Yes.
Not onto Joe, just solder in general. Thought I'd clarify there.
Well, thanks. You know.
Yeah, and then I can put like some essential oils on the lava stones, and that should help with calming you down too.
All right, well, let's work with keep bracelet on.
Yes.
That's been our problem, is like y'all don't understand. The original when I originally got the bracelet, it had one type of clasp on it. I immediately broke that. Then the replacement clasp was magnetic. I broke that. How, I don't even know. One manages to break a magnetic clasp. I managed to break a magnetic clasp. Then you've replaced the clasp on it. And again, got to wear it a few times. And then up goes the weasel. And it's like, oh, come on.
I know. But
it's getting old. I broke it.
But that happens with mystical jewelry. You know, it breaks, it snaps, it, you know, gets worn down. Crystals explode. Like, I'm just waiting for a few of the crystals in my office to explode sometime, because I think it'll look great on the wall.
Well, I walked through the door and I was like, what does it mean for my chakra alignment if I broke it again? Because Ashley was saying is, I don't think the bracelet's for you.
Well, I think the bracelet's for you. I just think that, you know, one, you've got to start acknowledging when you're having empathic episodes, and I don't know, maybe go soak in a bathtub.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do at 65, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was on Monday. You could have done it Sunday, or even when I suggested it on Friday.
Hey, you know, sometimes there's just not time.
Make time.
Well,
self-care, baby.
Well, Brenda's saying she had a mother of pearl bead bracelet just break off like someone grabbed it. Mine, now the other part of this is it does have like a little charm on the clasp. And I've made the notation a couple of times. I'm thinking that may also be part of this problem, is because it seems like I perfectly hook that thing every time. Like, however you want to think about it, but it always seems like that's what I catch it.
Oh, what's an empathic episode? That's when you're feeling a lot of emotions that has nothing to do with your current circumstances. It isn't trauma, so you don't go into flight or fight mode. It's just like nervous tummy, or it's just nervous, or you're having a lot of unnormal, reasonable, normal emotions for you.
Or, well, basically the situation and what you're feeling aren't matching up. Like, what the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Like that you're suddenly scared, but you're like sitting and watching a comedy movie. Like, those two things don't go together.
No.
Like, why do I
Mm-hmm.
why am I having this problem?
Right.
So yeah.
But those happen. And, we have built-in coping mechanisms. Everybody does. Everybody goes through whenever they pick something up, and when I say pick something up, it's picking up a vibration, an energy, a gravitational shield fluctuation. Something is wrong in the force.
Mm-hmm.
And with that force, it's just aggravative, it's unresponsive, it's bouncing around. And that can be expressed in different ways. You may start breaking out and not knowing why. You may start having emotions that you don't know why. Or you may start doing weird things like I start cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, everything goes through my stomach. And it's fun explaining that. I had to explain that recently to a doctor because I just said it and was like, no, everything goes through my tummy. And they're like, what? And I'm like, every drug reaction, every emotional issue, like, if I get angry, if I'm like, whatever the situation is, straight through my stomach. It's going to hit my tummy and just bleh.
Yep.
One way or another.
Right. And your solar plexus chakra is always the most affected.
Okay.
Literally, honey. The times you've had tummy problems and I start rubbing your belly, I'm not being cute.
Oh. Well, there you go. And Kathy has a question. Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, it looks like she has about two going on.
Okay.
The first one, so Kathy, 72862, are you sure my malpractice is going to happen? They're down to 5 business days.
Yeah. Right there. We'll break it down for you. We have the 7 of Cups, which is opportunities. We have where you're feeling now you're kind of trapped with the 8 of Swords because you feel like you've blocked yourself in. And then, your last card is the 3 of Wands, looking at where you're headed to next. Okay. So, yes, I do feel like it goes through. And then going down.
And then next she says, I believe some spirit tried to channel me Tuesday, and there was serious pressure on the back of my throat and then chest. I'm not a channel psychic. Ashley says it was a heart attack, as in you were having one, or that like the person trying to channel you had one, basically, I'm assuming at that point, because spirit channeling. Okay, so yeah, it would have to be past tense.
What I feel more so it was an upset stomach that caused GERD, because I'm not seeing any spiritual energy around you then. I do feel like a lot of stress and aggravation is going on now, and that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Well, and also with everything going on right now and being concerned about this case, I would have to say, like, anxiety can make you think you're having a heart attack. I had a boss previously who ended up in the emergency room a few times because she swore up and down she was having a heart attack. Numbness on the left side, like you name it, she had the heart attack symptoms. And they're sitting there going, your heart's fine. I don't know what's going on in your life, but you're not having a heart attack. That's the good news, I guess. Though technically at that situation, I think she would have preferred the heart attack.
Probably. Especially with, because, stuff happens. Angina happens a lot. It feels like a heart attack, but it's actually an emotional thing. And it can be controlled and treated. And of course, you always, I very much am behind talk therapy or whatever if you're having emotional stuff or going through a hard time. Talk it out.
Now, with the angina thing, though, that's not always just an emotional thing. Sometimes that actually is like just a sign of some form of a heart problem. Because that also goes with AFib, which is a big thing in my family. I don't have it. But like my dad and my grandmother both did, his mother. And yeah, both of them ended up having to take some meds, both to control their blood pressure, because the last thing you want with AFib is like out of control, angry, high blood pressure, because that only makes AFib worse. And the pain, though, is usually right at that elevation in blood pressure. So, yeah.
But some good things did happen this week. Y'all guys can look forward to our review of the Amazon Cube. We have been bored.
Yes. Well, it was Prime Day. Tuesday was Prime Day.
I know. I normally look for that in July.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for it in March, like 3/14. But that's Pi Day. Never mind. Got it now.
Yeah, it's normally in July. Of course, with the pandemic, it was delayed. Because normally that's what you spend your birthday gift money on.
Basically. Or, usually wait for one of the big sale, like one of their big blowout kind of things. Though I didn't do too bad. Like, I got a really good discount on the Cube. Because I got it for like 80, I think it was.
Yeah. Tell them what it is. We're not going to do a full review, but, some don't know what the Cube was.
Okay, so the Amazon Cube is basically like the bigger, beefier, badder brother of the Fire Stick. It's sort of like you slammed a Fire Stick into an Echo. Yeah. That's kind of the general gist of it. It is, well, let me see if I can make the box look presentable. Sorry. There's a mess on my desk. I got new stuff. I opened and ran away earlier. This thing must play with pretty. So yes, it looks like that. If that's catching the light at all. There we go. Yeah. So that's what the Fire TV Cube, the Amazon Fire Cube, looks like. So yeah, it's like the upgraded Fire Stick. But it is very nifty. I am liking it. I got it hooked up and set up, and it is kind of cool. It's a lot faster.
Right.
Like, I had one of the early Fire Sticks. So, yeah, mine was getting a little slow and stupid anyway. It's not horrifically, not unusably, but compare the two, and it's like, oh my God, this is so much faster.
Right. Yeah, so, my other bedroom will be getting a Fire Stick. You'll be getting the Cube, which that removes the dot, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Well, it removes the spot.
Yeah, it removes the spot. I actually would really like for the spot to go to your desk.
Okay. I was kind of thinking that earlier, is maybe that would be the better place for it.
Right, and I think
we're hitting the unfortunate part as some of the equipment ages out. We've been trying to move it to different places, but now we're getting to the point that I could throw a dot on the patio and just not care about the fact that it's not waterproof.
Well,
we're literally getting to the point that it's meh, it's a second generation dot.
No, because we're at that point of I'm about ready to go Acosta, and especially if the other system comes out cheaper than what it was, we may go to that system.
Yeah, you were really liking the Home Hub from Google.
I'm
Like,
really liking the Home Hub from Google because it listens, and there isn't this, we'll switch profiles and switch profiles and switch profiles.
well, but I think it can do some of that. We just set the one, like we set up Crystal Lotus Shop, like right before all of this hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we got a really great deal on those.
Yeah.
And we talked about that a while back. That was right after Christmas?
Right after Christmas, we got them for $5 a piece.
Yeah, apparently they did a really bad Disney deal. Yeah. They tried to do a Frozen Google Home Mini combo gift with a copy of the Frozen movie book, or Frozen 2, I think it was.
Yeah, Frozen 2 book.
Yeah. Thought it would be a really great promotional thing for them. Apparently it didn't sell for crap because everyone just, I guess, thought it was like the book and was going to be like a really, like, you know, pretty pink princess, like Google Home Mini or something. So no one was buying them. So we were picking them up for like, what, $5?
Yeah, $5.
$10? Yeah. Well, because it was a twin pack, wasn't it? No, they were okay. I thought they were twins.
We got a twin pack for 20 because we bought 2 extras. That's right. We needed 2 extras.
Yeah, they were just having a really good sell on those. But yeah, we were getting them for like $10 a piece, and I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do a case study, see how this works in a business.
Which we loved them when we were down there. They're loving them because you're an automatic, you know, you can turn on the music, you can do whatever instantly throughout the store. Each person can have their own music. Because what we're running into with the Alexa is she's not listening to me, or, you know, lights aren't being, like, half the house isn't in my profile to control. Like last night, I even got up and just went and unplugged the light. Yeah, I think. And
unfortunately, that does happen. Like, Amazon really hasn't worked out that whole, like, 2-profile household concept.
Right.
Like, that household thing isn't working all that great.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff did come from the house in Princeton and got added to this house, so it was already in my profile.
Right.
And so, yeah, she totally knows what I mean and does what I say. And then she's like, who are you and what do you want?
I
don't know what that is.
You know, on your task list is to reset the home networks.
Yes.
All of them.
Oh, yeah.
Put me into your profile on Amazon. I'm done.
Basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kathy loved what she got as a Patreon. So, very cool.
Yeah. So as a Patreon, and let's kind of go over that because we just got that out, and yes, we were 15 days late. I'm sorry. I had dental surgery, and nothing leaves unless it gets my review. And if, you know, I don't know, if I haven't reviewed it, I'm not going to be putting it out there because I don't put out crap.
There you go.
Yeah. So the magazine Under the Table and Dreaming is out for Patreon members. It will go up on Monday for public buy. It's $2 an issue, and you can actually go and get September's if you missed it. Other Patreon exclusives, you always get your videos ahead of time. You get like, they're getting videos that aren't even out on YouTube yet. And they got a really cool background, which I like. This month's background, you're doing really well with it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I've liked I like the September one. Like, I like this month's, but I also like the September one. The September one was pretty cool.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this one, like, and I was a little worried with this one because I was afraid maybe it might be taken the wrong way.
No.
Just because, like, the two things I was combining. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, and you got immediate feedback from our patrons that loved it.
Well, there you go.
And I confused you when I shared that with you because he doesn't get the Patreon mail. I do.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's not a Patreon listserv. Unfortunately, it's like, no, there must only be one.
Right.
Like, nope, that's it. That's all. Aww. Mika puts them on her phone. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. We will be rejoining the Patreon a little bit because there's some things on there that I don't think Patreons are really liking, and some things I've seen on others that I'd like to include.
Yeah.
Mainly the private group. There will be a barista group.
Yeah, we're going to move away from the Discord concept because we always forget to launch it. And it didn't seem like anyone was really interested. Like I'm thinking that was one of those things that sounded like a really great idea and just not our audience.
Well, I think
Like,
that it's a great gaming audience that already use it. I don't think our audience uses it, and I'm seeing a lot of other Patreons move over to Facebook private groups.
Yeah.
So be looking for that development. That way, you guys can participate in more polls and, even share news stories, and we can get into some good coffee talk in there. And that way we can also host the Q&A that is going to be coming up sometime next week. It'll be a Patreon only Q&A.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, I don't know. What can they ask us that we haven't answered here? Like, oh my God, we take most questions pretty well.
Well, I know, but this is where they can get personal if they want.
Okay. How
Yeah.
personal?
Like Reddick asked me anything.
Oh God.
You're the one that came up with the idea.
Oh, I know. I must have been drunk at the time.
No, you weren't.
I know. I'm never drunk. Like, I wish I could have that as an excuse. Like, I have a family. Like, you do not understand the amount of alcoholism that I should be able to rightfully claim. But I'm the one that ends up being genetically screwed on drinking.
Actually, we have 3 different levels. We have $1 a month that, and then we have the $5 level and the $10 level.
Absolutely. Yes. So as a Patreon, you will also be referred to as a barista, coffee shop barista. We were trying to play with it. And so those memberships are tall, grande, and vente. Yep. Again, we were having fun with it.
Exactly. That'll be good. That'll be fun. And it's just more interaction. We kind of missed a holiday that's more for this show than it is the other show.
Well, we didn't miss it. It was we didn't get to it last Friday, and then if we had fit anything more into Tuesday's show, oh my God,
Instagram killed me.
Basically. But no, so National Coming Out Day was October 11th. So yeah, kind of a big one. Fits more with mountain bears than psychic coffee, but yeah.
Some, because I get to come out as a psychic. I get to come out, as a Papa Bear. I get to come out as gay. What else is there?
Well, let's save the rest of that list for the Q&A.
Yeah.
Some of those are not exactly Mountain Bear's public-friendly guide.
Yeah,
but into the
I get to come out as a witch. So, National Coming Out Day, when it originally began, had a lot of focus on GBLT things.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, that was its original thing, but there's a lot of broom closets that were all in. And that's sort of where it's been drifting into.
Yeah.
It got accepted by a lot of communities, which is really cool.
Right.
And like the whole language and the concept really resonated. Though then again, knowing, by any luck, we probably culturally appropriated the concept. I don't know. We culturally appropriate that one is like, did we steal it from the pagans and y'all are just sitting back there going like, Well, we called it coming out of the apothecary cabinet, but whatever.
No, that one I don't think had a poetry appropriated.
I was not having a heart attack.
But, this whole cultural appropriation thing is a new thing, so don't quote me. I'm not the expert on it, but no, I think National Coming Out Day was ours. It's like National Act Up Day was ours, and is ours.
Mm-hmm.
But, over and over, it isn't just one event that we will not go into on either of ours, or I ain't going into mine because if we ever get monetized, YouTube will demonetize us for my coming out story. But we repeatedly get to do this coming out thing. Once you do it once, it's kind of like you have to keep doing it.
Well, true.
Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't ever end.
No.
Like, it really doesn't.
No.
Like, it just keeps going. It's always going to come up, every new person, every new situation, every new job, every new neighbor, every new mechanic, every new doctor, every new pharmacy, every new...
So what has been your most funniest coming out?
The funniest one?
Yeah, because we have horror coming out.
Well, okay, like the big family one was kind of a thing. Can I point out, we were talking about the family, like all problems can be handled by group message. Yeah. My dad started this shit with my coming out and mass emailing. Just saying, literally all family issues can be handled through group messaging. That's the only funny takeaway I have from that story.
Well, I think positive saying coming in.
There were positives. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But no, from like that side of the story, from like the dad interaction, that's the only funny thing I have. But yeah, no. I think the funniest one was like my very first, which was my friend Susan. Yeah, Susan from college. She's fun. If her daughters are ever watching this, call me. I have so many stories. Your mother is nowhere near as innocent as she told you she was. Anyway, love you, Susan. Bye. So I can get her in so much trouble. But anyway, came out to her and we were eating at the time and she was like, pass the salt. And I'm like, did you not just hear what I said? And she's like, yeah, I knew. Anyway, pass the salt. What? Oh my God. Yeah, so my response to that was, well, you could have told me.
Yeah.
Saved me some time.
Not really. It isn't like you were 50.
Hey, I was 19.
Exactly. It saved you.
And that was a bad year period. That was just like, that was my second year in college. It was like crazy. Like, yeah, I was 19. It was bad. Like, I didn't handle my 19th birthday at all. Like, most people freak about the big O's. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. No. I'm the weirdo that backs it up a year. Like, I'm fine when I got to 20. I was fine when I turned 30. I will be fine when I turn 40. But the 9s always get me. Because it's the last one before the next one.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I hate the 9s. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I've got it all out of my system by the time I hit the O. But yeah, the 9s always get me.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So what was yours?
I think my funniest one has been you.
Okay.
When I told you what I did, and you're like, okay, cool, cool. And for 2 years, this man thought I could read his mind.
No, I said I don't know how much poking around you're doing or think you're doing.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, don't do that.
Uh-huh.
Don't appreciate it. Get out.
Uh-huh.
Stay out.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a general, like, couples things, because I'm sorry, I don't know about everyone else's relationship, but if you're looking into my head at the wrong moment, you might see a knife.
Right.
I'm just saying, I think that's normal in any relationship. You know, it's kind of like my version of the fried green tomatoes. Like, you know, sometimes he's watching the game and she just wants to hit him upside the head with a baseball bat. I'm there. I identify. But, you know, that's me. But no, I don't know. You don't want to go with your original coming out?
No. The original coming out is I decided to invest in bedroom door lock.
And using them.
Yes.
That was the irony of your original. Like, just a little teaser of the rest of the story. His dad kicked in a door that was unlocked.
Or he came in to turn down the stereo because he thought at 2:30 in the morning everybody should be asleep.
You know? And Shannon is you don't need to look in my head. You can literally see it on my face.
Me too, normally, and it's just like, I ain't got time for that.
Oh, poor Emily. I was sorry. I just got to the Emily's comment.
Okay.
A good friend of mine came out to me one day, and my hubs and I looked at him. And we were like, and? I told him, I'm studying in both the music and art fields. You think I can survive the art world being homophobic without suffering regular anxiety attacks?
I already thought those anyhow. That was part of the artist complex.
Well, there's a fair amount of that, but I mean, oh my God. Like, I'm sorry, but if he's an art major, he's at least bi. Like, there's a good chance. Like, well, now granted, I'm a little skewed. I went to UNC Gay. Like, literally, we call ourselves that. We're UNCG, University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Literally, it's UNC Gay. And so, yeah, basically the odds were a lot more, you know, up there. And it's like, oh, you're an art major. Yeah. You're in the music department. Yeah. But then again, it was kind of the same for, oh, you're in IT or you're, you know, in a business administration. Really, I just think every major's gay. That's what I think. That's what UNCG taught me.
No, like, design would have been interesting to be in.
Like, no, but where I'm literally at, like, I'm thinking back on my college career is I just assume all women are heterosexual and that pretty much every guy's gay. That's where, like, that's what my college education taught me. That's where I'm at. That's how bad the statistics were.
Right.
Like, low number of lesbians, lots of gay men. Literally, you had to have a hump and walk with a limp in order to not get a date as a dude on that campus. It was, like, impossible. UNCG is very out. Yeah.
We have a question.
Oh, we have a question.
Yeah, me.
Looking down through. What were you listening to?
Painted Black.
Ah, there you go. All righty.
Yeah.
Oh, bless his heart. I'm like, this is me live reading Emily's comment, going, oh, bless his heart. Oh, yeah. So apparently she has a homophobic cousin that was a bodybuilder, wore nice clothing, was an art student, and got hit on so much by other guys during college that he became incredibly paranoid about looking as not gay as possible. Oh gosh. Oh, poor baby. Some guys just like can't win. Like they just can't.
Uh-huh.
And then I think there are some guys that it's like no matter what they do, it's just like, no. For whatever reason, you are just gonna get hit on by dudes. Like, sorry, it sucks. Every woman who talks to you is gonna think they're, your new best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like you will be permanently friend zoned. You just can't cross that line somehow. Like somehow everything like dings off. But yeah. Well, and Brenda's going with the general theory of no matter how straight you think you are, there is at least one person the same sex that you would do. I could call that fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if most straight guys were honest, there's at least like one person that they at least have enough of a fanboy crush on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that, like, okay. Yeah. Like, I'll do it.
Right. But no. So, it's always fun. It's always, for me, it's always enjoyable when I come out and just watch people. Because it normally changes the situation quickly. If I have to make it that punditly clear.
Oh, and Ashley is of a definite agreement. And Mika is like, please tell us who. There you go.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the open Q&A for Patreons. Write that down.
Oh, as what is our equivalent?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put that in the open Q&A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. But no, if you were so not awesome to be came out to first, feel very privileged because that's normally like their testing grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, like my friend Susan just used it as like the biggest punchline ever.
What, pass the salt?
No. Like I had to go through a long period of like teasing with her. Like it just never stopped for a while. And it was like, oh. Okay, granted, I am the one that made the mistake of inviting her to go with me to Peter Pan. Yep. Brought that one on myself.
Peter Pan?
Peter Pan.
Theater?
Yes, theater production of Peter Pan. Live stage production. Yes, it was great.
Did he fly or did he just bounce around on stage?
No, they flew. Right about that line that, like, she was deadpan silent. We were watching the play. I am fully engrossed in the play. I know the story, but I'm still, like, totally engrossed in the play. It was a really good production. And then I forget what the exact line is. And she leans over. And, I forget what the line is, but she repeated it. And I was like, did you just seriously ruin Peter Pan for me? Like, I hate you. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of people know before we say anything. Some people don't care. As in, they don't care. They'll continue the behavior you had to draw a line to.
Well, see, now my coming out kind of started in the category of Dad was questioning my ear piercing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my sisters, not to be named, made the comment of, well, I wouldn't be so concerned about the ear piercing, but somewhere between the sweater vests and the penny loafers, I don't know.
But yeah.
I did. I really did. I used to wear sweater vests and penny loafers.
Well, finding good penny loafers is hard to do now.
Do what now?
Finding good penny loafers is hard to do now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It is kind of.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
I'm
like,
sorry.
I haven't replaced those since. I haven't found anything I love.
Yeah, well, in sweater vest, I was never a sweater vest person. I was more the vest, just a vest. T-shirt and vest was my look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of get where you're going there. Not the same, but similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the vest concept because typically it's a little more comfortable than like a full-on jacket or a full-on like sweater.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem is I just get overheated.
Well, and I really have problems with and sweaters in general. They just drive me crazy. Granted, they're polyester normally, and that doesn't do, or wool. And again, I don't do wool.
Yeah, you can't wear wool. That's no.
Yes.
But now some of the acrylic yarns really are sucky.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one. And that was the only one I ever bought like that. It looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought it for an occasion. It was an immediate rush. It was also my, I think, $100 and some sweater
from
Walmart. Let it process.
I know. Is that framework in my closet?
Well, okay, getting into the event, my mother had just passed away, and I came back to West Virginia, and the only thing I didn't pack was anything. I did not pack a coat. Was not wearing a coat when I drove up because I left North Carolina, and I bought this stupid sweater at Walmart because it looked nice. It looked like formal enough. It would be warm, and I could wear it to a funeral and be graveside and all that. It was $18. And unfortunately, when I left North Carolina, the other thing that I did was at the time I had a West Virginia bank account and a North Carolina bank account. And when I grabbed the checkbook, I didn't pay attention to the fact I grabbed the West Virginia one, which had like $10 in the account or something ridiculous. And I wrote a check for the sweater thinking I was pulling it out of the North Carolina account.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got a lovely little notice sent about my bad check the hard way. So yeah, it was like $100 and some by the time I paid all the crap off for the bad check. I was like, oh my God. But yes. Oh. Well, Phoenix Knight is trying to figure out who he would be gay for. Awful Tower Boys?
It's a band.
Okay, cool. Got it. Sorry, wasn't catching that.
But I do have a question. Is that the green sweater that's in my closet?
No.
Good.
No, that's the actual nice acrylic sweater.
Okay.
Like, there's two forms of acrylic yarns, and one is really, really good, and it's like that is like soft as like a blankie. Like it is so super like not nice. The one that I bought for Mom's funeral, unfortunately, was like wearing like Brillo pad. And like I think I probably spent the entire service going, "Oh my God, why did I do this to myself?"
Well,
yeah.
In general, it's just I don't know. That'll probably get worn once this year. We'll see. Maybe twice. I am not the sweater dude because I get too hot to get with.
Well, see, I think you'll like that one because that was the one that I always loved for the fact that even though it looks big and bulky, it actually is like really breathable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't trap a lot of heat. It just looks bigger and bulkier. It looks like a really warm sweater, but it isn't. It's like the actual perfect sweater for big dudes. Which should be a thing.
Gee, thanks, honey.
What? Oh my God. You're letting the 10-pound difference in our weight really go to your head there, dear.
No, honey, you called me a big dude.
Why?
What? But anyhow, some of the funnier things that has occurred in our relationship is he was shopping for me 10 years before he met me.
Basically. Basically.
Uh-huh. He's just now started buying colors of things that I don't care for. Or look crappy on me.
Well, you know, I had like one ex start to dress me, and apparently they were dressing you. Well, technically, if you go with my pattern of exes, they were dressing themselves, but on my body. Because we've noticed, I didn't know I had a type. Apparently, I have a type.
Yes, you do.
But no, so yeah, I ended up like following the pattern. Like, okay, I can just buy more of this. And I did.
Yeah. For me. But no, that's been fun. That's been really confusing for people to try to keep up with our wardrobes. Yes, there are those out there that clock our wardrobes like.
Wait, what?
Yeah. That type of thing. But something we've learned is we are two different people in a crisis. You know, I am Father Superior. This is what we're doing. This is how this is going to be handled. X goes wide, Y goes to Z, A goes to 3, and Q4 to 5. Okay. And you're like, okay. But you're better at instant crisis.
Well, it kind of, that's what I was going to say is like, it's not always the same crisis. It's like there's different types. Like, you know, you hit the floor in front of me and I'm going to be the like chest compression 911 dude.
Right.
Like that's a given. That's just like literally given my life, that would almost be like another day at the office.
Right.
Or like figure out what your problem is. Like, are you diabetic? Because I know that like that was a moment with my dad is he was so bad at managing his diabetes. And like he never did understand what the A1C test told them. Mostly because his doctor never explained it. Because they're like, yeah, no point in lying to us, but we'll let you do it anyway. Because it's probably the only thing keeping your A1C score where it is. But no, he used to do this thing. He realized early on before the A1C test that they would only read like the last few pages of his test results. So if he could be decent for 2 weeks out of the 3-month appointment cycle, they would only flip back a couple of pages and then be like, well, you're doing really good at managing your diabetes. Well, the way he did that is for the last 2 weeks before his appointment, he just didn't eat anything until he passed out. And then he would eat something and then go back about his day until he passed out. So that he kept having like these. Do what now?
He was the pioneer of the Devil Wears Prada diet.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Like I'm a flew away from my ideal weight. But no, I mean that's what he was doing though, is he was trying to keep his numbers between like 95 and like 130 because that he figured out that was the range they were, you know, like if he stayed in, they would tell him he was a good boy. So that's what he did every 2 weeks.
Right.
And then he would literally come out of that appointment and eat like massive amounts of candy. But I got used to the whole like that last 2 weeks because you couldn't tell him any different. You could not get him to understand like you're doing more damage right now
Mm-hmm.
than like if you just kept doing what you were doing.
Right.
Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just try to moderate a little. But no, he would just do the random crash, and I'm just like, okay, I know what you did. When's your next appointment?
Uh-huh.
Like, there's only one reason you're passing out, and it's your blood sugar. And there's only one reason you let it get that low. And it's not an accident. It's intentional. When's your next appointment?
Right. Well, yes, I did get my A1C done today, finally.
Yay.
Yeah. And for me, it was more of a scheduling issue.
Well, yeah, because it is kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a fasting lab and they expect you to come in at like 8 a.m. like everyone who works like somewhere between 8 and 5 Monday through Friday. And it's like, yeah, no, if I come in at 8 a.m., I had dinner like 4 hours ago.
Right. Well, normally 3.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
And that's been, so, I emailed Doc and like, I'll get it done. Just make sure the order's there. And then we figured it out and planned out for today. Because it's like, oh, I can do X, Y, and Z and get by with it. That works. I.e., we will have dinner at 2:30 tonight.
Yeah. Well, and that's basically what we did. And then you went in, and I'm sure, did you get that moment of like, you understand these are fasting labs?
Even the prompt on the screen, did you eat within the last 12 hours? No. I've been asleep for 4.
Basically.
So, that's always fun.
Yeah.
Doctors never get that, oh, he's a midnight shift worker. He lives at night.
Well, but then there's the flip side of it is I actually got both scolded and appreciated in the exact same sentence by a doctor. Because one, I forget to eat all the time.
Yeah.
And I'd gone to this doctor's appointment and it had just been that kind of day that like I got up and like hell, havoc, and chaos ensued, and then I had a doctor's appointment. And they're like, okay, well, we'll do a lab order, come back in, it's a fasting lab, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why can't we do it now?
Right.
And they're just looking at me like, fasting. Like, let me slow it down and see if your dumb brain can follow. No eating. And I'm like, I haven't eaten in like 18 hours.
Right.
I'm as fasting as I plan to be.
Right.
What? It was, and so it was like this back and forth comment where they're like, oh, well, yeah, then we can totally do that, and you shouldn't do that.
Right.
Like, I got scolded and appreciated. Like, well, we can go ahead and do that today,
Yeah, well, let's look at our news beat and what all's hitting it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been keeping up with this kidnapping plot?
No, you were telling me about that one, and I never could find it. Like, well, granted, you also do what now?
Not the local case.
Oh, not the local case? You don't want to go into the local case, do you?
I can't.
I'm going to spill some beans. He went out for cigarettes. And he comes back, and all he can say is, I got a little worried there for a minute because it looked like the entire West Virginia division of the U.S. Marshal Service showed up at that store. He said, the uniforms are way better than they used to be.
That was my other comment. Because I pull into the cigarette store, gas station, that's going through major rebranding.
Again, can we point that out again? Like, it was a Shell when I moved up here. It has become an Exxon, and now it's becoming a BP?
Honey, you have the wrong gas station.
Oh, the wrong gas station. Sorry.
This is the town near Mart that was a Kroger's fueling station.
Oh, my God. Even more confusing.
And then they became an Exxon. Then they became M&P. Now they're becoming a BP. Yeah. The fun of that. The one you're talking about was a shell station, was built as a historical shell station because they have all the...
They have the old pumps, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Like, they have the really cool, like, 40s era gas pumps, the ones with the big glass cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really cool. But because they all were branded with Shell, they just, like, did the worst attempt at covering up branding I have ever seen.
Again, they should have went... Right. They could have just changed out the gloves, which maybe they haven't been able to locate them. But, you know, they're now an Exxon and will be an Exxon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pull in thinking, okay, I need gas and cigarettes, no big deal. I look up in the rearview mirror and in pulls these dark blue U.S. Marshal trucks. Gorgeous, you know, Cadillac trucks. And I'm like, okay. And then two more pull in. And I'm like, God damn it. What the hell? What have I done?
Like, who did I threaten recently that would warrant this level of respect?
Just Jim Justice finally gets an attitude, or, you know, maybe, you know, the big orange dude is a little bit working down his hit list, and he's a little low on victims today. And they all get out, and they're all, like, standing around, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Also, while apparently thinking this might not be the worst arrest ever.
Of course, because, you know, they're all in their attack gear, and the old attack gear looked like it was fit on dummies. Like, I don't know who designed their wardrobe, but someone needed a tailor. These boys,
yes, because that's what the U.S. Marshal Service was thinking when they picked out uniforms was, you know, how fabulous should we look while taking down a suspect?
Well, loose fabric gets caught on the crab. You know, that's why you take jeans and you wash them, and while they're still wet in the middle of summer, put them on, and they will shrink down and they fit nicely. But I'm thinking, damn, someone got into the wardrobe department. So I get out and go into the cigarette store. Of course, you know, Tall and Beefy 1 and Tall and Beefy 2 are talking to the little cashier and start talking to me, and I'm like, okay. And then I realized I knew one of the dudes. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing here? And he's like, oh, you know, have you heard there's a guy that kidnapped two girls, and we think that they, you know, something has occurred with the two girls, and he was sighted up on the hill. And I'm like, okay. I need this cigarettes and this cigarettes and this cigarettes. Yes, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. So I had to, of course, tease him, and, you know, I forget what my exact comment was. I'm sure you remember, because I know you said something about they looked hungry, and I decided to play with that, and you were like, not that kind of hungry.
Yeah, they did. I'm sorry. The boys outside looked like they were ready to go, like, play a football game and take on, like, the university, which they used to do and no longer do, because they always lost. But no, they looked hungry. They looked like they were going for bounty. And what was weird was my reaction. And I really didn't catch it until afterwards. I started messaging my friend. I'm like, get the kids in. Keep them in. Lock the door. This ain't going to be pretty when they catch him. And I'm still saying it ain't going to be pretty when they catch him.
Well, usually isn't. Like, kidnapping, I don't think is something they play with.
Well,
like, that's not one, like younger kidnapping. No, that's not playtime. That's not, you know, crazy armed dude in an office level playtime.
Right. But there's a difference. And for those that have dealt or dated law enforcement, you know this difference. There is a difference of, well, fuck, I gotta go pick this dude up. And I'm going to war.
Okay.
Yeah. It's this total different mind. It's kind of like you call it Aeson mode.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm going to go to a big show versus, okay, let's go down to CLS for the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and some of that is also like the size of the venue, the number of people you're going to see, and like getting geared up for the fact
Right.
that like it's going to be a nonstop read. It's just like this is 8 hours of readings back to back.
Line them up. Let's knock them out.
Yep.
Yep.
Like we should technically only be able to do 30, but somehow we're magically going to do like 60.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, they were hunting. They were ready to hunt for bear. They're still looking for the dudes. So guys, if you're in the southern West Virginia, all the way to Charleston area, keep the doors locked.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
Or be on the lookout for, hot U.S. Marshals.
Well, enjoy hot U.S. Marshals. I'm glad to see that they're actually beefing up their look. Because I'm telling you, they look like they, at one time, and the FBI done this too, for a whole, 5 years, it looked like they all bought their outfits at the thrift stores. I was like, damn it, aren't our taxes paid for something?
No. No. Nothing good.
Apparently not, because I'm telling you, some of those leisure suits, honey, were from the 70s.
Oh, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But we have casual mail now. It's cool.
Finally. And you can always tell the quality of the agent by how they look.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I've worked with enough of them.
I thought it was just you could tell whether they were married or not.
No, you can tell the quality of an agent by how they look. If they look like they stepped out of the Sears and Roebuck catalog, they're going to be a crappy agent. But if they come in here looking like they've got their shit together and are dressed to impress and want to be a federal agent, they're going to be damn good agents. And it's because they take pride in their work. It's that whole theory of man clove. But no, I'm talking about the kidnapping plot between the two kidnapping plots now. One was to kidnap the governor of Michigan, and the other one was the same team decided to kidnap the governor of Virginia.
Oh God, that's kind of like, sorry, Phoenix got me. But we'll put that comment on ice for a minute. But I'm ching ice anyway. But no, that's just such a 2020, this is where we're at. We're ready to people are actually ready to kidnap governors. Can we stop just for a moment?
Well, here's the thing with it. This is nothing new if you know history, because there was a large plot for many years to kidnap Archmore in West Virginia. That's when governors started getting security and were given security.
Mm-hmm.
Because for many years, almost 150 years, any of us could walk into the White House and have a conversation with the president.
Well, understandably, but I mean,
and then it went to, and walk into the governor's mansion and have dinner with the governor, not under invite, just.
Well, not Justice. He lives in Lewisburg.
I know,
and he ain't missing meals.
Well, that's obvious.
I'm not fat shaming our governor, but he is not emaciated. No, he is not missing many dinners.
Well, no, of course, and you can tell he was raised up as a justice because look at his eating habits. I promise you, I don't care how fancy of a chef he's done, there is a tin of bacon grease in that refrigerator. If not, he'd be thrown out of the family.
Well, there you go. But yeah, no. But no, still though, it just kind of, I get historically it was more possible, and I also get that it is the reason that we have better security for a lot of elected officials. Once you hit a certain point, you get better security. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it just what do you think you're doing with that?
Well, not only that, but hello, this is 2020, not 1832.
Well, and like, I really hate to say it, I'm pretty sure that there is like a no negotiation like aspect of that. Like, we're like, no, not going to happen. Like, we are not making that a thing.
Well, it's not only that, because they weren't going for negotiating for money or anything. They were
Well,
going
yeah,
to
they were
try her.
going. Well, do what now?
They were looking to try her.
Okay, I thought this was more so about reopening this, like the state of Michigan.
It is about reopening the state of Michigan, but
Well,
they were going to
but
try her.
I'm sitting here going, like, it's going to be a kangaroo court and, you know,
Yeah,
a made for TV drama kind of thing. But otherwise, like, what do you think you're going to accomplish? They're not going to negotiate this out and give you anything.
no,
Like, you're not going to get a meaningful change out of this.
right.
Like, I think that's also part of the thing is, like, if your security detail were to fail,
Mm-hmm.
and you end up getting, you know, kidnapped, like, there's not going to be a lot of negotiation there. It's just
Right.
kind of like, well, this is awkward.
Mm-hmm.
you
Well,
know,
again, and this is the facts, and this is where, people do not think this out. No, you're not getting negotiated with. There is no negotiation for kidnappers. You're going to be the one hanging.
well, because ultimately the theory is when you start allowing negotiations and people getting their way through kidnapping
Mm-hmm.
or paying them off, etc., you just encourage it.
Right.
Like, the more like viable it is, the more people do it.
Right.
It's sort of like, you know, if you quit going after bank robbers,
Mm-hmm.
you have more bank robberies.
Right.
Like, it's kind of a, you know, if you can just walk into a bank with a gun and be like, give me all your money and then go home,
Mm-hmm.
okay, why wouldn't more people rob a bank?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a big deterrent to go, no, this is a crime on many
Right.
levels. And bad, very bad.
Right.
You know, like, no, you don't want to do armed robbery, bad idea.
Right.
You know, go do a nice white collar crime that no one prosecutes.
Right.
You know, like money laundering
Mm-hmm.
or
Well,
embezzlement.
and apparently the U.S. authorities are already investigating Russia again, supposedly about disinformation efforts targeted at Biden.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew this was going to happen. We've known this was going to happen. Please, guys. And there's this big Aeson thing going on. Twitter took it down.
Okay. I missed something.
The conspiracy theories about how...
QAnon.
There you are.
There we go. Sorry, you got to get me a little closer. Like, QAnon. Got it now. I know, there's too many acronyms right now in our world. It's kind of crazy.
Right. But anyway, QAnon, which, guys, really? Just looking at the information, I have to question competency. That there's this...
Well,
go for it.
Well, I'm just going by like the photos we saw. I was with like the one commenter looks exactly like the group of people you would expect to come up with this plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a bonfire and there was beer. I will guarantee it.
Uh-huh.
I will guarantee there was a bonfire, beer, and loaded weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely all three of those things happened.
Right.
Lots of tanked up.
Mm-hmm. And I tell you, a news organization that's kind of surprising me because I hate them, and I have hated them for a while. But Fox News is doing an about front here. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that the other night because I was just sitting there like they're giving Mayor Petey a lot of airtime.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting in a lot of really good jabs with like Anchor, like their primetime staff is just like, dying goldfish on the stuff he's saying. It's just like, we got nothing.
Yeah.
Because like there have been a few, because right now he's kind of stumping for Biden. And yeah, like he's gotten in a few good one-liners.
Right.
Like there's some really good resonating messages. I think it's kind of scary, at least in the sense of like, hi, Fox News is currently against the GOP incumbent, and they're letting, you know, someone stumping for the Democratic challenger not only on air, but giving him a free pass on some pretty good hard burns.
Like, well, not only that, but it's like the news reporters aren't even prepared for the answer. And I'm like, what are y'all guys doing? You know, have you seen the way the election's going and went, oh shit, we better bank somewhere else?
Do what now?
Because they're even like delivering hard lines to Trump now. Calls into the show.
Well, and the reality is, I think that it's almost a point. In the beginning, it was kind of laughable. Like, hi, it's Fox News. Of course, they're gonna, you know, go all like woo out there with their, you know, like. But when you get too extreme for Fox, like that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, Fox will typically like go pretty far. Like they're like, okay, we'll go all the way over. Like, how far right field can we get?
Right.
Like, no, keep turning. You know, I think we can go a little more right, or a little more extremist. But now that they're like kind of snapping back, like, woo, too far, too far, too far, too far. Like course correction. We can't do this.
Right. And I'm when they have PD on because it's like they're like, that's not a news reporter. You're supposed to be able to handle the news and rotate.
Well, and ultimately, it's never ask a question you don't already know the answer to.
Oh, my form of questioning.
Well, effectively, like general senses, you don't want to ask a question in a news interview you don't already know the answer to.
Right.
At least within, you know, generalities. Like, you don't want to have someone just sit there and spin a web of lies, and then you're like, okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for being on. Blah blah blah. You know,
right.
Signing off.
Exactly. Like, and for the soda drinkers, we are sorry. We will mourn the death of Tab. I personally don't think I've had it. Have you?
What, Tab? Tab died?
Tab is dying. After 60 years, they're retiring it. No more Tab.
Oh. No one cares.
What's your thoughts on the iPhone 12, which is now under pre-order?
Oh, God. Another iPhone. Yeah, I'm waiting to see what that's going to look like, because that, I think, goes back to kind of where Apple is in general right now with their processors and like what this is going to look like. I haven't seen the specs on the 12 yet.
Right.
I don't know if this is just going to be yet another new iPhone from Apple that is so much like the last iPhone from Apple that, like, what did they take away this time? The screen?
No, they're not providing a charger or earbuds for you.
They do not provide a charger or earbuds?
Yeah, you have to buy them yourself. Oh, we are Android right now.
Do what now?
We are hard Android. We got asked, are we iPhoners or Androiders? We are Androiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
I'm too poor to be an Apple boy. Like, I've had to accept that in my life. I'm too poor to own Apple products. Like, I'm not in their income bracket.
Right.
And that's point blank legitimate, is that unfortunately with Apple product, and the way they handle right to repair and just the general upfront pricing on their computers, etc., computers and tablets and all that. I'm too poor to own Apple. Anything in the PC / Android realm is at least, may not be your best day to have to replace it, but typically a lot more affordably replaceable.
Right.
Or at least repairable in some instances. Like, Apple screws with you a lot. Like, break your iPhone 6, see what happens.
Yeah, you can't fix it. I'm going to say even up to iPhone 10 or 11, you can't fix them now because they've got iPhone 12s coming.
I would say that, well, again, it's all going to depend. Because now Apple does like the fact there is a resale market. Like the 12 owners will, take their 11s, and the 11s will be sold, and 10s from the 11s and on down the line. But they eventually hit a point where they're like, no, quit reselling, like, or quit holding on to this.
Right.
That even if it'll handle the newest update, which I will give Apple points for that, most of their hardware line is updatable.
Right.
That is the downside of Android, is like we cannot seem to get like consistent, continuous updates. Like, I understand when the hardware won't do it, but when a manufacturer is like, no, your phone is 3 years old, we're not even going to give you that.
Right.
Because we are kind of stuck there with not Google giving us updates, though they did start including security updates directly through Google, but actual OS updates, we don't, like, those are controlled. If you own a Samsung phone, whether or not you get the latest, greatest version of Android is controlled by, like, Samsung.
Right.
Or Motorola controls their entire product line. And sometimes it's arbitrary. Like, you're sitting there going, this phone got it, but this one didn't. Like, please help me understand why this phone could, but this phone can't. Like, they have almost identical specs.
Well, I love my Androids. My favorite, best smartphone I've had has been my Droid Max. Like, I can do everything and anything with it. The G Moto that I have, I really like. Of course, it's Motorola. Motorola is always good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's the first phone you've really liked since your Motorola Droid Max was this Moto G. Yeah.
And we're already looking for Aeson's next phone, and I'm going Samsung Note, I believe, this time.
Depends upon what we do. If you get a new phone, or and you inherit mine like you did on, or if you're getting the new phone, because if you do the inherit, I can already tell you what you're getting.
Well,
and that would be the Note 10 Plus, which is what is my daily driver. Like, hi, and it's in cool rainbow. Like, it's not just a skin. That's what my phone color is. It's this like prismatic thing. But no, if you do a direct purchase, we were looking at either the S20 Ultra or I think it's the S20 Note Ultra. I forget. Like, Samsung modeling drives me crazy.
I like your phone.
Yes.
Mostly. I'd like to.
What do you not like about my phone?
What do I not like about your phone?
That's where I'm just got lost. Like, what's wrong with my precious?
That it's a C. I have 300 Android cords and like 4 C cords in this house.
Literally, the Type-C port's killing you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You choose the weirdest features to be like, no, I don't like that.
Well, I don't like it right now because I don't have a C port, and every time I get in the car, I got to hunt my cable and where he stuck it.
No, it's usually dangling out of the port in the floor where you left it. This is the difference, though. Like, I bundle cords up. It's an IT thing. I do it just out of habit. Like, I sit there and I like neatly coil my cords and wrap them. And yeah, No, you like, I don't know how many micro USBs we've lost because they were in the passenger floorboard and someone stepped on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, we're looking at probably going Android Note 10 is where I'm looking at going, just because it'll be easier. We got to make sure that it has the same port issue because I'm tired of the cabling issue.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in places where I think that we should have cables at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there should be a cable in the bedroom. Where's my cable?
It was there.
Uh-huh.
It
I
lived there.
actually run it.
Oh, you mean like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to do a thing. Oh my god, it was horrible. But yeah. Oh, poor Shannon. Her kids throw a fit because she has her charger plugged in, and they don't know where I put theirs. I'm like, it's here somewhere.
That's the answer I normally get.
Yeah.
You know, and I saw that the phone is now up to $1,200 for a phone that lifespan wise will last you a year. That's $100 a month.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, and that's one of those things to consider is now technically the average lifespan of a phone is 18 months.
Right.
Technically. Granted, a lot of companies will contract that for like 24 or 30 months if you're doing the per month pricing.
Right.
And we actually did an article about that. Like Patreon's got a cool article in September about the high cost of switching on cellular. And part of the boil down on that is that I'm a big proponent. Like both phones that we have were bought outright. Like I bought this like full price. Granted, this is a refurb. I'll go ahead and point that out. This is a refurb. You know, and I'm not opposed to that. Like the really good phones, if you're very, very careful, and you watch your vendors, you know, because I go through Amazon because I like their return policy. But if I don't have a problem with refurb as long as you're very, very careful with who is selling it. And making sure that this is a reputable vendor, that everything looks right, that what you get is what you paid for, typically can be okay.
Right.
I'll risk it. I'll risk it. I also know people that have had some really bad luck. I will outright say eBay and like be very careful on your phone pricing. If it's too good to be true, and this goes for any platform, but eBay is especially bad for it. If it's too good to be true, probably isn't a true actual phone from that manufacturer. You're getting something.
Sorry, no buying phones off Wish.
Oh God, please no. Please don't buy phones on Wish. Please don't do that.
Brenda says that she keeps hers. She jumped from iPhone 6 Plus to an 11. I wish I had that ability. At one point, I was up to carrying 4 phones just to keep up.
Yeah. Typically that's like usually at the point, like I max phones out. I have not done that with the Galaxy Note, the one I have right now. I haven't done that yet. I'm still a good ways from it. But typically within a few updates, I've mostly maxed my phones out. And that's just the sheer amount of stuff going on them.
Right.
Like the whole reason I upgraded and you have my old phone, I maxed it out as far as I was concerned. I couldn't do anything else with it.
Right.
But when we were actually able to consolidate, because you had gotten up to 2 phones again, we were able to consolidate you down to 1, and that's it. And you're still running pretty good. Like you're not running into any big issues. Battery life is the biggest one, and the whole reason you want a new phone is because the technical contact made fun of your antiquated device.
Well, no, the whole reason I want a new phone is my Instagram game needs upscaled.
This started with the network, and one of the developers said you had an old phone.
Well,
and that was the first time.
No. The first time is when I looked at your phone and it looked like a damn Spider-Man.
What?
It's got 3 cameras.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it has more than that. Sorry, I dropped my phone. I do that all the time. It's, technically it's 4 cameras. It's quad camera. But then there's the flash, and then there is also, and I forget, I think it's infrared technology hidden in here somewhere. So, yeah, it does a lot of everything.
Right.
But it takes really nice pictures.
Yeah, and some of the issues, because I'm beta testing an app, some of the issues I've brought up are been based on older technology. And I'm like, if I'm going to keep beta testing, I have to get something better. My cell phone is just ridiculous now.
But I think that was also good for them, is because they had a very large iPhone users group,
right?
And then they had a very eclectic kind of Android group,
right?
So most of their iPhone people were within a couple of generations of iPhone.
Right.
And we're all basically up to date, had all their updates. I'm sure that was part of the beta testing. I would have made it. That part of the beta testing is if you're in the iPhone group, you better have all your updates. We're not playing around with this being an issue that was corrected 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Get your updates.
Right.
Whereas the Android group could be all over the place because, iPhone, you're kind of locked in. It's not like there's one manufacturer. It's very much a known phone.
Yeah.
And you can kind of sit there and go, we support down to this OS and this model.
Right.
For these reasons. Versus on the Android side of it, you could be dealing with anything from I picked up my phone at Dollar General on up to, hi, I just bought the latest, greatest thing from Samsung the minute it dropped.
Right. But, in past tense, my focus was always, I have to have a new laptop. I have to have a great laptop. It has to be a decent laptop. It has to do X, Y, and Z. And I can't have Z or D on my computer. Now it's over to everything is on the phone. Almost. There's still some housekeeping and stuff that I can do on any computer, which I'm going to be testing if I can do it on what I call my backup system. But
and I think pausing for a second, I think the thing you may end up actually liking the most about some of the newer phones is DeX.
Yes.
In which you can actually hook this into a Type-C hub. And it will actually function like a little Linux computer.
Cool.
You can hook it, and with that hub, you can hook it to a full-size monitor, a full-size keyboard, a full-size mouse, all the accoutrements, and even wired internet. All of that together, and I think you would, for the most part, be pretty well covered for things you need to do business-wise while traveling. I think you would have pretty much all your bases covered. So yeah, we did just sort of obsolete your computer a little bit.
We did. I can actually possibly even use a Walmart brand computer. All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be looking for notifications if you're Patreons, because those different things we're going to be rolling out. And if you've not joined our Patreon group, hit it, Vanna.
Yeah, so waiting for you to fix that. There we go. We want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, and the Crystal Lotus Shop, located at 89 Old Main Plaza in St. Albans, West Virginia. If you're in the area, please make sure to check them out. And if you'd like to learn more about becoming a Patreon sponsor or more about us and the show, please check out PCSPnetwork.com.
Mhm.
There we go.
Awesome. And you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you later. Bye, y'all.
Bye.